Hello and welcome to Hamer Reviews. My name is Christopher Hamer and today we're going to be reviewing and comparing the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s with the Cambridge Audio Melomania Touches. This is actually something someone requested in the comment section of the Cambridge Audio Melomania Touch review that I did. Link to that above, and that led to me buying the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s and trying them out. Doing a separate review on them, a link to that above as well. And I thought it would actually be interesting to compare them. So yeah, let's jump into that. First off, let's start off with price. It's worth saying that the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s are significantly more expensive than the Cambridge Audio Melomania Touches. Now, that is not without reason. Unlike the Cambridge Audio Melomania Touch, the Sennheisers do have active noise cancellation, which is something that will appeal to a lot of people. So if you're looking for a pair of headphones that have noise cancellation, active noise cancellation, then the Sennheisers are going to be your automatic choice, and I don't know why you're still watching. But I think there's a lot more to this than that. So even though these are £100 more expensive, I actually think this is a very valid comparison if we talk about sound quality and a few other features. So let's start off with comfort. I find the Cambridge Audio Melomania Touch is very comfortable in my ears. I think the design of the earphone itself is very good. You kind of have a little hook at the back, which really keeps them in your ear nice and securely, and you don't worry about them falling out. They have the various touch-sensitive panels so you can control them, which is the same as the Sennheisers, and overall they're very comfortable to wear. But that's not to say that the Sennheisers aren't either. These do protrude out of your ear a fair bit more, and in fact, if I put the left earphone in from Sennheiser and the right ear cup earphone from Cambridge Audio, you can actually tell that Sennheiser does stick out a fair bit more than the Cambridge Audio one. So I think in terms of design and comfort level is very similar for me personally. I don't think one's more comfortable than the other, though I prefer the slightly flatter profile of the Cambridge Audio headphone over the one from Sennheiser. The charging cases are also very similar. Size-wise, there's not a huge amount in it. The Sennheiser one's slightly larger because it's a very squared-off design, but the actual design of the Cambridge Audio one makes it look smaller because it's got rounded edges, but there's not a huge amount in it. They weigh very similar amounts. You can't really tell the difference either, and they both charge by USB-C. Now, when it comes to battery life, it is worth noting that Cambridge Audio touts up to 50 hours, of battery life, whereas that's with the case and the headphones themselves, whereas Sennheiser will only give you 28 hours. Now, that's in a special low power mode for Cambridge Audio. Otherwise you get, I think, closer to 40, which is still much more than Sennheiser, but it doesn't have active noise cancellation, and that takes a lot of power. So perhaps that's where the differences are there. So overall, we've got similar charging cases. We've got USB-C charging on both of them, similar levels of comfort. They look quite similar, but we have a sort of bit of a gulf in terms of technologies where one has active noise cancellation and the other doesn't. In terms of installation and use, I think it is fair to say the Sennheiser easier to use in terms of the app is better to use. It's easier to set them up. The Cambridge Audio app and setup was fine for me initially, though I have since had a few issues with losing connection. It just had to have me reset the headphones and update the firmware, and it was fine afterwards, but that's not a problem I've encountered with the Sennheisers, so bear that in mind. The Cambridge Audio app still needs some work, and I think they're working on it, and they're putting out loads of firmware updates, so they're clearly improving these headphones a lot, but at the moment the Sennheiser ones are probably more polished than what Cambridge Audio has produced. Now, when we talk about sound quality, that's where this all changes for me, and that's why I think this is a relevant comparison. The Cambridge Audios, I just think, have a much nicer sound than the Sennheiser headphones. It's a much fuller sound. It's very dynamic, punchy. You've got fantastic low-end bass, which is much heavier than the Sennheiser Momentums. You've got clearer sound, in my opinion. It's just very dynamic. It's such a stupid word to use to describe sound, but they just are enjoyable to use and listen to. And I think where the Sennheisers are very clinical, and they're direct but clinical is how I'd actually describe them. And that's not something you get with the Cambridge Audios because they're quite full and you have this huge soundstage and it just brings music and makes it alive, whereas Sennheiser just gives you the music that you're used to already. As a result, if I was choosing these and I didn't need active noise cancellation, I would absolutely choose the Cambridge Audio headphones over the Sennheiser headphones. They both have transparency modes, they both have high quality sound modes, they both have other little changes as well that you can do in the apps. The equalizer on the Melomania app is much better than the one in Sennheiser. It's much more detailed, so that's something worth bearing in mind as well, more customization. But yeah, overall, I think they're both very good headphones. Personally, I'm going to stick with the Cambridge Audios over the Sennheisers because if I'm wearing noise cancelling headphones, I'd rather wear my big Sonys. But yeah, really impressive, really good on both sides. But for me, Cambridge Audio win this little battle. I hope you found this little comparison useful. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments section below. If you haven't already, please do click like and subscribe to my channel as it really helps. And I hope I see you again next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.